This is Swiss and Chips, your British guide to Switzerland. Hello, you're listening to Swiss and Chips. I'm Jo.
And I'm Simon.
So thanks for tuning in again, as we like to say, although obviously nobody's doing any tuning. You're maybe just pressing play. Anyhow, today we're talking about taking the Channel, otherwise known as the... See, now I can get you with my British words. The Channel Tunnel.
Channel Tunnel.
Exactly.
Right.
We took our first ever trip on the Channel Tunnel. I've never been on it. You've never been on it. And it was our first trip together with our daughter as well.
We have been by car on trains in Switzerland.
Yes, but that's very, very different. We should do an episode about that.
Could do, yes.
Anyhow, in the summer, we planned to go on holiday to the UK. And first of all, we thought about flying. And then for a couple of reasons, we decided, you know what, let's drive in our own car. And so the adventure began. And boy, was it an adventure by the end of it.
Yes, true. And so that's basically what we're going to talk about today. The drive from Switzerland to the UK by car.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we talk a little bit about why did we decide to drive and all the other specialities like which route to take and so on. So yeah, like you said, we wanted to go to the UK on holiday, and how come we drove?
Well, I looked up the flights and thought, blimey, they're expensive.
Yes.
And this is where it began. This was back in July. I know it must have been about June when I was looking for the flights. Damn, they're extremely expensive. And this coincided with a visit to one of our friends, and they told us they'd done a very funny but interesting thing. One of them drove in their own car, and the other one flew with the two kids. And then they rendezvoused in UK.
Yes, true. And that's the other thing. We wanted to drive around in the UK, so we needed a car there. And we planned to stay for 3 weeks, so we needed a car for quite a long time. And we also looked up the prices for cars and children's seats and stuff, and it was very expensive.
It was insanely expensive. And we thought, okay, this is just getting out of control now. We could have gone to the Bahamas for this price.
Yeah, so first we thought we'd do the same, and I drive and you fly, but then flights were also very expensive. And in the end, we just decided to pack everything in our mobile. Can you say mobile? Or is that only a phone?
That's only a phone,
okay,
or a thing that hangs above a bed.
Okay, and our mobile vehicle, also not?
Our car.
Okay, then just a car.
Automobile.
Automobile.
It's like a mobile auto.
Yes, that. And off we went. But before we went, there were a few hurdles. We went on holiday by car to other places, and then usually we just type in Google Maps and we drive.
Yes.
Not much planning involved.
No.
But here turned out...
Oh my gosh, it's one of the most controversial things between British people, it seems.
Yes.
That there could be. How to actually get to Calais. There's like so many different variations on the route. There are some people who are like, you know, go in the night, take all the motorways, just go fast, 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 don't stop, don't sleep.
Yeah.
Not really an option for us. There are people who say, take the scenic route, go all day, plan lots of stop-offs. Others who say, go through these countries. But in the end, we went through France. We went in the daytime. And we planned a stop off in Rheims, which seems to be the place to be if you're a Brit on your way back to the UK.
Well, the controversial things, as you said, is which is the cheapest way, which is the fastest way, which is the most scenic way, which is the most motorway way, which has good stops on the way, and which goes through which countries. And then last but not least, can you say that? Last but not least, where do you live in Switzerland? Because if you live very much to the west, you might go a different route than if you live in the east. So all of these things combined, very controversial. I asked in our Facebook group, which is called Switzerland for English Speakers, in case you haven't joined yet, what do you recommend? And I got a ton of great recommendations. So thanks a lot to everyone. I will also link this post in our show notes in case you're interested in it. And there are really good ideas, and Rheims was one of them. And that's where we stopped.
Yes, and it was awesome, I must say. Great. I can highly recommend it. We stayed in just one of the... There's quite a few hotels there, and we stayed in just an average, which one? Novotel, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but
anyway, it was super nice.
It was made for
all the cars in the car park were British. Everybody in the hotel was British apart from the people who worked there.
Yeah, I also
Which, you know, is neither a plus nor a minus. It was just funny.
Yeah, true. And I also had no idea that such a thing exists in Switzerland. It was basically a stop in France. It was basically a stopover place for travelers.
It was a stopover destination.
Yes,
there was a
absolutely.
supermarket, there were weird restaurants, there were loads of hotels, all directly off the motorway.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And swimming pool, and it's just a
Yes.
bed, a swimming pool, a bar, and you can off you go again. Clearly made for you come late and you leave early.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
Good.
then we drove on to the tunnel, which
Yes.
took us from Bern to the tunnel maybe 7.5 hour-ish, something like that.
Yeah,
I'm
in
sure
total.
you can go faster and I'm sure you can go slower, but
We
somewhere
had booked
around there
our
it took.
tunnel crossing, middle of the day-ish, I think it was, because, we weren't in a huge rush. We just wanted to get there comfortably. But our day went pretty well. We turned up quite early, in fact.
Yeah.
And it was actually very, very nice on the French side. We arrived, said, this is when our booking is for, and they just said, all right, just go straight through. Don't even go inside the terminal building. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
then we just went and joined quite a short queue,
Yeah, we did.
and on we went.
So how was it? Let everyone know the
Yeah,
tunnel
well-
experience. Why we are talking about this is it sounds maybe quite normal, but it's actually quite special, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Is not only weird because you are under the sea.
Yes, big point about
Yes,
the Channel Tunnel.
It's just it's a really interesting experience. So you come through the
Car
terminal thing, and
yeah.
it's very like at the airport basically, but you're in the car and
Yeah.
ticket stuff and
They give
passport
you a little,
control and-
you get like a letter on a door hanger thing that you have to hang over your mirror.
Yeah.
And then there are lots of different entrances to go through. I'm not explaining this very well.
and extremely well organized everything.
Yeah, you just get in your lane. The thing is, on the French side, it was very empty when we arrived, different to the British side on the way back, but we'll
So
come to
true.
that. And you just drive in the lane. You're supposed to go down a steep ramp and there are people waving you around. And then all of a sudden you have to make a very sharp turn onto the train and then a sharp turn again to go up a very steep ramp. And then you're in the train on your car. In your car.
We are already heading to the train. Yes, so in between there is a terminal thing, which we didn't see on the French side, but
No.
on the British side, which is very similar to airport terminal.
Yeah,
you can do
except
duty-free and
slightly
stuff.
less interesting, I would say.
And then, like you said, you go to the train, and me as a Swiss, I expected it to be open like in Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
So you just drive on it, but it's a closed train. So
Yeah.
you go in like what you just explained, and either you're on the lower floor or on the top floor. It's 2 floors, and lower floor, no problem, just quite squeezy, but
Quite
all
tight, yeah.
fine. And top floor is very, very steep. Yeah.
Yeah, get
You
ready
go
to
in, get
immediately
out. Yeah.
accelerate upwards.
Yeah,
Okay.
but fun, really fun. And then someone walks through the
Train.
and tells you where to park. I mean, how close to the other car, and then it's like different sections basically.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
I watched a video on YouTube before we went to see exactly how it would be. And if you're going and you want to know, I recommend you do that as well.
We can link that as well. Yeah, and that's it. It was really a good experience and really quick and
It's
fast.
very quiet. You don't even know that you're setting off.
No.
If you get out and look out, you can also open your car doors. You're supposed to stay in your car, but you can get out.
You can get
You can go
out
to the
there,
loo
yeah.
if you want.
Yeah.
You can look out the windows. Not much to see for most of it, obviously. You don't
Yeah.
see like fish swimming.
Yes, but us with the child, it was quite nice. So we could get out and she could walk around a little bit.
Yeah, there's not really loads of space. There's a tiny bit. But if you want to stretch your legs, it's possible.
Enough space to walk for 15 meters and back, something like
Exactly.
that. No problem.
And all of a sudden, you arrive. It takes about half an hour, doesn't it, in total?
That's
if
it,
I remember
yeah.
correctly.
And then you get out and
Suddenly you're there and you
off.
just, all right, get off.
you just
hurry
switch
up.
lanes, go to the other side, and
You're in England.
you're in England. And it's
Amazing.
extremely weird.
It was really great. And once you do it, you kind of think, why did we never do that before? That's brilliant.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. I would totally recommend it, especially if you stay forever so longer, a little bit longer. Yeah, for us with the child, one stop was quite a long drive to drive for like 5 to 6 hours in one day with
Was a
the
bit much,
1
yeah.
year old was a bit much. But if your children are older, or it's only one person or 2 adults or older children, I think it's great to do.
Yeah, go for
Really very straightforward. And yeah, that's about it. I think we might come back another day. Or do we want to talk about how we came back? Maybe briefly.
I think we should, just
Okay.
because, we teased that slightly.
Did
well,
we?
on the way home, we thought, okay, that was so easy on the French side. We stayed overnight quite close to Folkestone in England, where we were going to get the tunnel from.
Yeah.
We set off in the morning. As you may recall, chaos unfolded on this day. It was apparently the beginning of the British school summer holidays. We didn't know. We don't live there. I hadn't been reading about it because we changed our plans quite a lot. So we sat on the motorway. We sat on slip roads. We sat in the car park. Many hours passed by. We were stuck in the car. We ate our gigantic bags of M&S food that we had planned to bring back to Switzerland. Yeah. It was awful. But it could have been worse. Some people were there for 12 hours or so. We were just there for about 6.
Yeah, 6-ish. Wonderful. And we had the terminal experience there. So luckily we missed the train by a long time. And they said, look, it's not a problem. Any car goes on any train nowadays. Yeah. And we went then to the terminal thing, had a look around. There was a great singer.
Yes.
Very loud.
Very loud. It was awful.
Yeah. It wasn't
But we
so
would still do it again, wouldn't we? Just not in the summer holidays.
So bad. Yeah. It was all good. All in all, was great experience. Can highly recommend.
Me too. That was fun.
Right. Then it's time for... the Swiss word of the day.
Yes.
Today, to learn, it is the word plapperen.
Is that a real word? I always thought that was a made-up word.
No. Plapperen is the verb, and a plapperi is can be a person, a plapperi.
A noun.
Yes, it's a noun, but it's a person, a plapperi.
Okay, so I think I know this one, actually.
I'm glad, so you can explain that.
Say the verb again.
Plappere.
It's like a jibber-jabber. To chatter.
Yeah, exactly, almost. Well, yes. Here is a interesting thing, maybe also not, you tell me.
Go on.
Plappere is the verb, with at the end it's a, which is a umlaut. How is that called?
Yep, that's what we call it.
Oh, okay. It's a plapper-a, and the person is a plapper-i, with an i at the end.
With an I.
With an I, no, yes. Oh, man.
This is how this always goes.
Yes. Could you sum the mess up that I just made and repeat it again so people do understand?
Well, we've got the verb, plappera, and then we've got the noun, plapperi.
Yes, exactly. So it's the same word, just a different letter at the end.
And I think in English, it's roughly translated like a
chatterbox,
to chatter and then a chatterbox.
Yeah, I think so. It's maybe you are completely right, but is it also a chattery? No, a chatterbox. Is it also, you would more say to a child?
Yes, you are such a chatterbox today.
Okay, and plappere, to chatter, is also more what a child would do. It's like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I think it's slightly different to chatter, but I can't think of a word.
You use it for adults, but it's
sort of like meaningless conversation.
Yeah.
Chit-chat.
It is, yeah, but it is meant as a funny word because you use it usually more for children, and then you can definitely say it to an adult, but it's more a friendly way of saying, oh, you're a chatterbox. You're such a blah, blah, blah
You're
person.
such a chatty.
I don't know.
I think we've got it there. And if not, our listeners will help us out, I'm sure, and correct us. Please do.
All right. And here we are already at the end. Do you want to say anything?
I don't want to be a blappery.
No end, no last words, nothing. Well, then that was it. So thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.